Come, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, and where your higher nature is just a wish away. And thank you to everybody who joined us last week for our very first premiere episode. We're so excited you've joined us again, and if you're new, thank you for being here. I'm Meg, and this, of course, is my faithful butler, Scallion. Thank you, Scallion. And I have my beautiful assistant, Miss Alice Pooper here. Thank you. Well, today, we're going to have a lot of fun in the mansion because today is going to be all about dolls and poppets. Once again, I guess it's time for words of wisdom. Are you okay, Alice Poopers? Today's words of wisdom come to us from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, the author of Faust and many other great literary classics. And the quote is, "Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen." Let's think about that. Poopers, shall we meditate? Yes. I do feel magical. You feel magical too, Poops? Yes? She went to the parlor this week and got her hair cut. She's looking so good. Such a good girl. You're such a baby. Well, I guess we'd better get busy and start talking about poppets and dolls.
Dolls? Did you say dolls? I love dolls.
Parfait! How did you do that?
A parlor maid never tells her secrets. I'm going to take Angelica to the kitchen. I hear Scallion's whipping up something delicious. Toodles.
Toodles? Well, now I guess you've met our very scrumptious parlor maid, Parfait. Dolls and poppets are commonly used tools in sympathetic magic. And sympathetic magic is magic where objects are assigned to a specific person and affixed to that person, can be used for healing or for harm. Most commonly known are voodoo dolls. However, dolls and poppets have been used throughout history in many traditions, not just voodoo. Dolls can be made of cloth, clay, wood, wax, pretty much anything. And you can fill them with herbs, stones, you can write your intentions on paper and put it inside. Hair, nails, all of these things will help you affix intention or assign the doll to a specific person if you want. You connect the doll to the person it represents through a magic link. I like that idea. But let's talk about the history of poppets and dolls because it goes all the way back. It goes back to ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. And in Europe, how about Carolina Brunswick, the wife of George IV? She was known to make wax dolls of him all the time and was sticking pins in them. I don't think she liked being married to him. And of course the West African fetish magic used a lot of dolls where they were a little bit different because the poppet would be assigned to the spirits of the person it was connected to, not to the actual person. And that person would wear or carry that poppet with them as a talisman. And of course we also see dolls and poppets throughout American hoodoo and folk magic. which kind of brings us to the doll we're going to be making today, the Corn Husk Doll. But I think the main point is Poppets and dolls have had a long tradition behind them, which is still being influenced today by our modern practitioners. So we are going to be making some Corn Husk dolls today, and I want you to take a look. This is my maiden. She's very lovely. I also made a little witch, and if you stick around later in the episode, I'm going to give you some details on a giveaway. Someone's going to win this witch for their very own. Can't you picture that at your house? Because she's going to somebody's house for Halloween, or Samhain, as the pagans like to say. We are going to head over to the kitchen, and I'm going to show you how you can make a Corn Husk doll. Alright, it's time to get started with those corn dolls. First thing, I have a package of dried corn husks. I bought them at the supermarket. They were not very expensive. They're the kind that you use to make tamales, so they're not very hard to find. We have a bunch of other things over here. I have some paint, some tacky glue. Don't even bother with the glue gun, people. I tried it. It does not stick at all to the corn husks. It comes right off. So I got some tacky glue. This stuff does stick. It does not dry instantly, but it does work pretty well. I bought some fall shades of paint here, and I've got a marker, some wire cutters, some floral wire, and you can use any kind of string, twine. I happen to have this cotton cording from some other projects. You can use thread, embroidery floss, whatever you got. It's really up to you. I have some scissors and some little wire cutters. You don't really need that much to make the Corn Husk doll. A lot of it is just the corn husks and the string. It's pretty much what you need. Alright, so before I begin, as with every endeavor, I want to take a few minutes and I want to set my intentions for the activity. My intentions for this activity are that we're going to make an absolutely beautiful Corn Husk doll today, and the activity is going to flow smoothly and all the pieces are going to come together perfectly, and she is going to be the absolutely most gorgeous thing that she's meant to be. I have some fabulous river water here from the Smoky Mountains, which also sat out under a full moon and got a little moon juice on it. You can just use regular water. I'm just being extra. So I want to just take a minute and bless everything. Let it make a most beautiful doll that will bring great joy and great pleasure to whoever ever comes across her. Alrighty, so now that we've set our intentions and blessed our ingredients, or I guess these are materials, and blessed our materials, I'm ready to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is take these corn husks and soak them in water. Alright, so in about 10 or 15 minutes, we can get started making our corn dolls. They're getting pretty soft and pretty drippy. I'm going to write some things on this rice paper that I want to put into the doll. So I'm going to write some thoughts down. When you make dolls, you can put anything you want. So I think for something to go inside the head of the doll, I'm going to write clear mind. Because my intention for this doll is that its owner will have a clear, peaceful mind. I want it peaceful too. Why not? The apron, I want to be a different color. I like the natural corn husk color, but you can paint on it. So I think I've picked out some different fall colors. I'll paint a couple of these in case one doesn't work out. It's always good to have spares. I think the apron might be nice to make it yellow. I want to make some brown hair for my doll. I think some brown hair would look good. Add a little black. just to see what happens if I put some darker streaks in this. Alright, now I'm going to make a little kerchief for the head. I think this burnt orange would look pretty. So the first thing I want to do is pick out a couple of good pieces. I want to find a couple of good pieces for the face and neck. That guy this is a good size. These don't have to be the very longest ones. I think these two are going to work out just great. Now when they come down, I want them to curve out. So right now I'm going to put them back to back so the curves are touching. If these are like the backs of two vampires in capes, they're walking backwards to each other and they're going to bump into each other. They're going to go, ooh, they're going to go, oh, I didn't see you there. I didn't see you there. Alright, but right now, I'm going to do this by putting them back to back, my vampire capes. And I'm going to take a piece of this string, put these guys back to back, and you're going to be tying a lot of knots, so pull them tight. That one's going to be inside, so I don't need to trim it super duper tight. So now I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to sort of just ball it up. And by the way, this is going to be the inside of the head. So in this, I'm going to take my clear mind and peaceful. I'm just going to wrap that up in there because this is going to be my head. And I'm going to flip it over so you do not see the knot. Now the knot's going to go on the inside. And I want that to probably tuck that in there. Now I'm gonna wrap this around. This out of the way, you can see it a little better. I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna look for whichever one of these two is smoother, and that's gonna be the front. I'm gonna take a look there. And so, yeah, this guy's gonna be the back. So I'm gonna put this guy down first, and then this guy is gonna become the front, and I'm gonna kind of wrap that around. You just gotta keep messing with it till you get it where you want it. Again, tie them tight. And I'm not too much worried about the back because I'm gonna put some hair and a kerchief, but the face looks good. We're going to make the arms. So I want a pretty long one and not too fat, kind of thin and long, and I'm going to cut the tip off. So now that I've cut the tip off, I'm going to cut a piece of this wire. It's just a florist's wire. Try to get some that is fairly thick. Don't get the dollar store kind. It's just too wimpy. It doesn't hold up. Roll that up. There you go. You see everything's staying pretty wet here. You gotta be prepared to work in the water. To do the sleeves, you want to find two pieces. Those two look good. And I'm going to take this big end and I'm going to lay it right here, like this. And I'm going to wrap. I want to make sure when I'm tying the string, it's somewhere between in this part here. Then when I fold it back, we're going to cover all of this, and you won't see any of that. So first, I'm going to kind of. I don't want to wrap this or twirl it up too much. I want to more gather it. So I'm just going to put these two ends together, and then I'm going to kind of smush it all up. Yeah, we can flip it back. So we've got plenty of length here. We can cut a little extra there. Now, let's start wrapping a couple of times. Let's tie. All right, so now I'm gonna turn it inside out. This is gonna turn into the sleeve. Very shy, there it is. So now, I just fold this all back around. I can even cut this off there. Try to get that in the middle, somewhere right by the middle. I'm going to tie that down. All right, so the big end, then it's going to go right on there. I'm going to put the ends together, then I'm just going to kind of gather it up. So there we go. Gather it up. Wrap. Trim. Now I'm going to turn it inside out gently, carefully. So I'm going to tie this one in the same spot. I'm going to trim this before I tie it. Much better. Okay, so now we have arms. Now we're going to put the head and the arms. And just fluff this out a little bit. Fluff this out a little bit. Do a little fluff. There you go. And get that a little tie. Alrighty, now look at the arms. We want to cover some of this stuff up. I'm going to take a nice little strip and tear a piece off of this. Maybe a little thinner. I'm going to start here around the neck, and I'm going to wrap around the neck and come down. And around the waist, and around the waist, and now I'm going to grab another strip, and this time I'm going to tie it so it looks kind of pretty or prettier. Give her a little. Okay, now that's good. Not too bad. Now let's work on the skirt. Let's try to find some nice big pieces. We can stack them up. I tried to sort of line up the bottoms here. So these want to keep opening up here. So I think if I tie it right now, gently closed, this one I'm going to tie it with a bow so I remember I want to take it off. For this guy. So now I want to look at the bottom and maybe even a few things out here. So she will stand up. Okay. Let's see if that helped. A little dress cut. Oh. Yep, she's good. She's looking cute. Hello. I'm so cute. We got her pretty well shaped up. We're just trying to finish her up now. Here's some yellow for the apron. So I'm gonna turn her upside down. Gonna get a nice big piece of string. I am going to tie this around. For a bow. And ooh, la la. Oh, comment faire? C'est bon. I am going to deal with this now, and I'm going to try to make some hair. And it's still wet, and my hands are going to get all brown. And I'm going to make one. You gotta watch out because it's already split there. So 2 and 3 sections. And I'm going to start braiding. Look at my hands. I want to touch you. Now I'm going to show you a little trick for how I'm going to stick those guys on. I'm going to take a piece of this wire, a very small piece, and about an inch, a little bit over an inch. I'm going to make a little V. I'm going to stick this guy on top of her head, kind of towards the back, and I am going to literally stick this in like a pin, and it will go in. I'm going to take the other guy and put him there. I'm going to spin it around, and I'm going to stick this guy in. It's going to kind of work like a little staple almost. So now I'm going to push this in, and that's going to hold these guys on the head. Flip these up, put a little glue. Here is the orange, and I'm going to use this to make a little kerchief thing. So this is the finished doll, and I'm very sorry, but my battery on my camera died while I was making the kerchief. But it was pretty easy. I just took a rectangular piece of the orange and I pretty much pinned it onto her head with pins until it dried. Then I just took the pins out and glued it onto her head. Well, I hope everybody had a lot of fun making corn husk dolls today, and I hope you give it a try yourself and see how it goes. Oh, Scallion, what's this?
I fixed you up a little something special because you've been working so hard today.
Wow, what is it?
This is a Carmel Apple Float. Today I'm going to show you how to make a caramel apple float. First we take equal parts of sparkling apple cider and regular apple cider. If you want to add an alcoholic touch, we have the sparkling peach Bellini. But we're not doing that today. Now we stir it up. Add a scoop of salted caramel ice cream. Now we add the apple slice. Ready whip. Garnish with a cinnamon stick. Straw. We're ready.
So while we're doing our caramel apple floats, I want to talk to you about the giveaway going on this week at Meg's Magical Mansion. This week and this week only, I am going to be doing a Corn Husk Doll giveaway, and this is the doll I'm going to be giving away to one lucky viewer. And if you would like to win this doll and have it shipped directly to your home at no expense to you, I'm going to pay your postage because it's a prize. If you would like to win this doll, all of the directions for how to enter are listed in the description below. Super easy, nothing is required, no purchase, no nothing. You can just enter to win, and if you are the lucky name chosen, I will be sending this fantastic Corn Husk doll to your house to spruce up your fall season. Scallion, wouldn't you love to win a Corn Husk doll?
I would love to win a Corn Husk doll.
I'm sorry, but employees of the Magical Mansion may not apply. But everyone else can. So look down in the description and get your entries in. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you had fun playing with us today at the mansion. It's a lot of fun to play with those Poppets and dolls. Did you have a good time, Parfait?
I love dolls.
Well, remember, in the words of Buddha, thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared.
Will you read to me?
Of course, Parfait. Let's see. Where did we leave off in our book? Chapter 27, Vanity and Vexation of Spirit. Marilla, walking home one late April evening from an aid meeting, realized that winter was over and gone with the thrill of delight that spring never fails to bring to the oldest and saddest, as well as to the youngest